I'm going to call the meeting to order and welcome everyone. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll have a roll call, please.
Corvino,
Yep.
Ermeling,
Here.
Frederick, here, Odell, here, Nagami.
Okay, thank you. We will now have election of officers. I just called the meeting to order because we needed someone to do it. And being a trustee, I did. So we need election of officers for chair.
I'll move Barb Emily chair.
Second,
Sure, I'll second it.
all in favor? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Okay, all in favor, signify for Barb Ermeling, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried. Vice Chair. Who would you like for Vice Chair? I'll nominate Husheng. Husheng Zagami has been nominated. Are there any other nominations?
I'll second the nomination.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, no problem.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Okay, all in favor, signify for Husheng Zagami for Vice Chair, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Secretary, and secretary, I'm not really sure. I think it's just because we have someone taking minutes, so it isn't like you're taking minutes or anything. I don't know what they really.
They review the minutes and then sign also that they've, as their, no? Okay.
Okay, do I have a nomination for secretary? Well, I'll nominate Renee, but
I'll second that.
so there's a second. Okay, are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Your time, any nominations? Okay, all in favor for Renee Hodel for secretary, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we got that. All right, any public comments? Okay,
Barb, there's some.
oh, okay. Thank you.
That's good. I'm up for first. What, did you fill it out?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know who the chair was here yet, so I didn't know exactly what the direction
Okay,
was.
that's no problem. Okay, Jamie Wyland.
Jamie Wyland, 7010 Janelle Street, Weston. I am here today to raise serious concern about recent committee appointments and a funding request before you. First, regarding committee appointments, I was recently removed from this tourism committee and replaced by Husheng Zagami, the runner-up in the last trustee election. He was not elected by the residents of Weston, yet was appointed to my former seat and now vice chair. A decision like that raises red flags about motive and transparency. I'd also like to simply ask for a reason. You just not like me? Because I haven't been told otherwise. You have a trustee who wants to be involved and you want to take that away, especially from someone who not only serves on one committee is unacceptable. Considering 3 other trustees are serving on 4 to 5 committees. More importantly, these appointments were not shared ahead of the special board of trustees meeting, despite my formal request. I had asked for the list in advance because my child had strep throat, and I needed to attend via Zoom. That request was denied. I was told directly by the village president that the list would only be sent out minutes before the meeting. That's not transparency, it's control. And now we see why. My removal wasn't about performance or participation. It was because I'm not aligned with the current agenda, which prefers silence over accountability. If my child is sick, I want you all to be aware that my family always comes first to me. My kid will always come first to me. Now regarding today's funding requests from the Hmong Association. In the past, we have supported the Hmong Festival, but we do have a process and policy. They're asking for $25,000, 2.5 times more than that traditional $10,000 cap. They did not follow policy. They're required to provide feedback on a supplied form, and that was not followed. So I'm asking, are these policies only enforced selectively? Because if that's the case, this committee is failing in its duty to uphold fairness and consistency. And the public deserves to know why. This goes for any other event that has not filled out proper post-event forms as well. It's also worth noting that the leader of the Hmong Association, Yi, endorsed the now seated village president. While that alone doesn't prove anything, the optics strongly suggest that this may be part of a broader plan, and that should concern every one of us sitting here. The CVB contract clearly states, within 60 days of the completion of a funded event, the CVB shall provide to the village and the commission a post-event report on the overnight stays in the village because of the event, as well as post-event report from the event coordinator. Failure to provide a post-event report on the supplied form will influence award of future grant requests. Weston deserves decision-making that is rooted in fairness, integrity, and fiscal responsibility, not favoritism or political convenience. Thank you.
Morgan Woodruff.
Hi, I apologize for the appearance. I work at the Great Dane and they're closing, so we're like cleaning everything out right now. I was digging through things. But hi, hello, my name is Morgan Woodruff. I'm a Weston resident, and tonight I'm here to talk about how we can raise our online presence and better showcase all the wonderful things that our village of Weston has to offer. I'm gonna give you a little bit of background about myself. I went through a major health journey where I lost over 200 pounds through diet and exercise. I documented the entire thing online, and through that, I gained a following of several 100,000 people. Pardon me. My videos have gained over 200 million views across different various platforms. And I share this not to boast, just to emphasize that I have a strong understanding of what it takes to truly thrive and connect with people in the digital space. I want to be clear. My goal is not to replace or eliminate any contracts with advertising that we have. Instead, I want to see our relationships with those that manage our marketing strengthened and optimized so that we can actually become visible online. That might sound blunt, but I've done my homework. Weston has only been featured in one TikTok and one Instagram video over the past year. We're also not properly represented on the Visit Wausau Facebook page, in my opinion. And that's frustrating because we've made so many incredible improvements, but where are they online? I'd love to see videos of kids playing on the new equipment at the Yellow Banks Park. Maybe people eating at Firehouse Subs, or even more visibility information about the Fields House. Instead, when I search for Weston, the only content I find is independent influencers who are giving reviews of our businesses. Many of them are my personal friends who came to the area and spent the night at my house. This is a hugely missed opportunity. We are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing, and yet our digital footprint is nearly non-existent. At the last meeting, President Maloney mentioned that a board could include private citizens. So I'd like to ask, how do we move forward with that? Could we create a liaison role, someone who bridges the gap between Weston and Wausau and help build a more collective and symbiotic relationship? Our area has so much to offer: natural beauty, community events, local businesses, all of which appeal to the type of respectful, nature-oriented traveler who often has disposable income to support our restaurants, shops, and bars. We have the space, we have the charm. Now we just need to build connections and create the content that helps people find us. Thank you for your time, everything you do for this community. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay. Jan? Oh, Jim, I'm sorry, you got two of them here, all right. Well, anyway, we'll do the one. Jim Benson. And I forgot to ask the other ones for their name and address, they state their name and address.
She did.
Morgan is the only one you need, right?
She did.
Yeah.
Very well. Member Jake, right? Okay,
Great,
good.
good.
Okay, Jim Pensinel, 5000 Arrow Street, Weston. First off, I'd like to welcome all the new members to the Tourism Commission. This is the first time in a very long time that this commission has not been made up primarily of Board of Trustee members. I appreciate you all dedicating your time to take on this important role. Tonight's agenda presents several interesting items. I'll point them out to you in no particular order, even though they're already up here. Number one is the fact that these applicants are still not following the adopted policy and contractually agreed upon practice of completing the after action report specifically called out in the CVB's own contract. It's a quite simple form, really. And if everyone uses the same form, filled out completely, it allows a body who should be making decisions based on facts instead of feelings to do exactly that. There is nothing in the contract prohibiting an applicant from submitting a letter, photos, or any other document to supplement the required after action report. But it certainly shouldn't forego the actual guidelines agreed upon in the Visit WASA contract. The application specifically states that failure to complete the after action report may impact funding for future requests. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's your opportunity to move the needle and hold them accountable. After all, why even have rules if there is no intention to follow or enforce them? There really wouldn't even be a need for a contract, an application form, or even a formal request. Really, you could just leave the checkbook on the table and let every entity just debit the account, whatever they see as fair. Second, there was a request this evening for $25,000 from an event not even taking place in Weston. While I greatly respect among people, their culture, and certainly an event in central Wisconsin of this magnitude, the dollar amount of the request is unrealistic. Bear with me for a small math calculation. To achieve $25,000 of room tax, which is 8% of $312,500 in room sales. Now, there are 4 primary hotels in the village of Weston, okay? And so we take 312,000, divide that out, that's as you were. There are 4 primary hotels in Weston. The rate of one night, the evening of July 26th, which is the night that this is happening, based on a Google search yesterday, is $152.50 from each one of our 4 hotels that we have here. Averaged out, some are a little less, some are a little more, but the average between all 4 is $152.50. So let's take the 312,000 divided by $152.50, that equals 2,049 room nights. So I would ask, 2,049 room nights, divide that by 4 hotels, right? So that's 512 rooms booked at each hotel just to break even. Oh, by the way, that would be an accurate number if all 8% of that room tax dollar were used for grant requests, but it's not, is it? You see, the village keeps a portion, Visit WASA keeps a bunch, and whatever's actually left is able to be used to help with these events. I love the fact that we have representation here tonight from hoteliers. I wish we had more of them on the commission. During this agenda item, I'd ask Commissioner Frederick to weigh in on if she thinks her business personally will get at least 512 rooms booked over the weekend directly related to that event. Finally, as I've commented previously, all of the donation request forms still have multiple size fonts on them and appear to have been prepared in a manner which is not at all professionally presentable. I've mentioned this in the past, but I'll try again now that the makeup of the commission has changed. The Village of Weston has given hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Central Wisconsin Visitors Bureau 4 different sizes, 4 different styles of font on the same form is a quality of product that most 4th grade teachers wouldn't accept. But it is being presented to this body every meeting to ask for tens of thousands of dollars at a crack. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Okay, then we will go on. Minutes from previous meeting of January 20th. What's your pleasure?
Move to approve.
Motion by Hushain. Second by Again. On the question? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. Acknowledge work product transmittals, I can, March budget status report. You received that? You have any? Do I have a
So
motion?
it isn't the March budget status in your report there. It is the December 31st. And the reason of that is there's no activity yet, because first quarter room tax isn't due till April. So that's why there's no activity yet.
Okay. What CVB reports?
Good evening, I'm Tim White, 225721 Swan Avenue in Wausau, Wisconsin, AKA Rib Mountain. Thanks for having me, and thank you for the gracious support of the Village of Weston. Those of you who are new to the Tourism Committee, welcome. Glad that you're here. Those of you who have been here before, good to see you as well. Just want to give you some updates on things. Hopefully you got an email, and Jamie, if you could click on that, where I sent a number of resources, and we had a request from a supervisor or trustee of one of our municipalities asking about the growth of online presence. So we did a study, and you should have gotten this. I sent it to every municipality's email. If you did, let me know. We can send it to you. Just since we launched our new website 2021 to currently, and you can see an online continual uptick of our efforts. First and foremost, and this kind of speaks to the whole social media thing. Our main strategy online is to pay for robust SEO, word search, to get the people that are looking for things that they want, that we have to offer here, first and foremost, to our website. Our social media strategy is definitely to impress people, especially when they get here. We do meta ads, which is Facebook and Instagram, but a lot of those are not seen locally because we do them outside of the area. So just so you know that, our main customer or client that we're serving is people that are at least 60 plus miles away that would potentially stay here for more than 2 hours, especially those that would stay overnight. And so as you look at the organic traffic summary and the other parts of that report, if you have any questions about that, just please let me know. More than happy to help you interpret it. One of the cool things that we really kind of learned by that study was that we are obviously a outdoor rec community. That is like the big draw because of our terrain and the outdoor amenities that we have. And so people search for outdoor rec opportunities in addition to events and other areas. Another big takeaway was the Badger State Games. Winter and summer is still doing really, really great, always growing. And so we're going to be looking at how can we enhance the Badger State Games? How can we get more potential Badger State Game events here? There are some things that are doing really well, like pickleball, but there's some events that we don't even do that might be great to have. One thing that we'll let you know, and you might know this already, is that we moved the figure skating, which is one of our large Badger State Games events, away from Mosinee because we didn't really get any support from them and didn't feel it was fair to this area. These municipalities here that invest money into even the Badger State Games. And so we are bringing it to Weston and Wausau. So it will be at the Marathon Park ice and then at the Green Heck Turner ice for Badger State Games figure skating. Get about almost 600 skaters there along with their family members. So that will really be helpful. Speaking of municipalities, we entered into a contract with the Village of Rothschild that we're very excited to be a part of. Thank you to Mark and Jamie for being a part of that and really helping us to allow us to get into a contract that we haven't been in for almost 7 years. So the hoteliers there are very grateful. We're very grateful. And we just thank you for all that work that you've done to bring the area together. We want to do that with other municipalities as well. And so Mark, if you want to step into any other things, you can. And then, you know, I'm sure you've learned good ways to do it. Another big thing that's coming on this week, which is, I can hardly wait for it to be done, is the NFL draft is this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We have about 50 people that are registered at hotels from outside the area that are taking the shuttle, but then we opened it up to locals as well. And now we have 2 shuttles of 112 people on Thursday, 1 shuttle on Friday, 56, and we're almost booked for Saturday's shuttle as well. So a lot of back and forth with people, a lot of questions, a lot of logistical craziness. And all I can tell you is I'm glad I'm not going to be there. But we're giving them a goodie bag, and they will have all kinds of coupons and things to do in all of our municipalities. We've garnered a number of things, which is great. So they'll have that, and we're hoping that the people that are here, even the locals, will take advantage of all the offers and goodie bags, offers that are in there. And that's kind of a profile. It's kind of a test as we do some other things too, how well that the coupons and those kind of things are gonna, you know, benefit our local stakeholders. One other thing that I'll tell you about is we have really was at a seminar, and I can send you information on this with Oxford Economics, which is a world-class economic company. And there's a part of it. Is there a mic right here?
It's
That's amazing that I can hear myself. But Oxford Economics, we're talking about some of the shock waves that have been coming into the economy. And one of the fourth shock wave, the biggest shock wave, is the uncertainty of the markets, uncertainty of, you know, what's going on, this or that. And so some of the takeaways is that they are forecasting that maybe the tourism economy may be down about 4% or so because people will take shorter trips. They may not do a long trip. They may spend less money. But there's a silver lining in that, and that they are looking to potentially travel closer by. A couple of years ago, if you remember, I don't expect you to, in the shoulder season, we did a campaign called The Great Nearby, and we really marketed 90 miles away about coming and staying in our area. We're going to meet with the Lodging Association on Wednesday, and also a number of stakeholders and partners, and see if we can't do a midweek stay kind of a deal where we do packages, almost like the Dells, but we don't have, you know, water parks, which we have. I know we have Weston Water Park, but offering some, you know, Tuesday through Thursday kind of deals to get people to stay here and kind of have these close by vacations. We've changed some of our advertising to really kind of focus on the value of coming to Wausau, right? If you're in an urban area and you come to a place like this, you can get great meals, great experiences for a lot less. We're not going to say it's cheap. We're going to say it's great value. So we'll be marketing that more. And again, we can send you a number of things. You can always go to our viswasa/marketing page, and you can see all the videos and assets that have used in the past and are currently using as well. And then lastly, I want to send a personal invite out to you. We'll send it again, but we sent a link. We are having our annual tourism get together where we report on what we've done, and you get to see, those that don't see our budget. You'll be able to see that too, although you guys see it every quarter. And you're invited to that. That's Monday night. We're gonna do a night thing, May 5th from 5:30 to 7:30. So that'll be a great opportunity for you to get to know a number of stakeholders and partners. They'll have some tables there. Also to meet other municipalities that will be attending. It'll be just kind of a fun social event with some facts, but it's gonna be enjoyable. So we hope you can be there. It's at the Hilton Garden Inn, May 5th from 5:30 to 7:30. So with that, I am done. If you have any questions, more than happy to address them.
Anyone have any questions? Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Motion just to acknowledge both reports.
Yes, the CBC, because the March budget status report, there wasn't anything much, Okay.
I move to acknowledge the CVP reports.
By Shane, second by Frederick. On the question, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. And we need to acknowledge the March budget. You were saying about the
There's no
room
March.
tax not being there, and I'm thinking, okay, we didn't have to acknowledge that one then.
It's up
I'm
to you.
sorry.
We've acknowledged the December in the past.
Right. Motion to acknowledge the March budget status.
I so move.
So motion by Dino, second by Brady. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
You're opposed, so carried. Okay, do we have any educational presentations or report? Okay, new business grant request 2025 Hmong Wassa Festival. Okay, they have the 2024 Hmong Festival recaps. Did that just come in or?
Nope, Madam Chair, I am here online. I apologize for not being there in person. If I can speak, I could address and do a small little presentation.
Right. You've got the table, if you will.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to apologize. I was hoping to be able to be there in person, but I have 3 back-to-back meetings right after another, and I'm trying to make it to all of them at once here. But first and foremost, I just want to once again say thank you to the Village of Weston for their continued support of our events such as the Hmong Wassa Festival. Now, it's very crucial and important to note that I specifically requested for us to have the opportunity to be able to come in front of the board to be able to report on it so that it gives members the opportunity to be able to ask me questions and for us to be able to provide clarification on anything that potentially may have. We were very proud to note that this past year here, we had 14,000 attendees that attended our event. Although many of them, although this event was hosted in the city of Wausau, they spewed out into the surrounding area. We had a golf tournament. We had individuals that were here to attend fishing activities with other competitors. So they were traveling all across the local area here. The CVB back in, I believe it was back in 2019 here, estimated that we generated over $2 million in economic impact in our local area here. That means money that was used at our gas station, at our restaurants, at the grocery store. So although it wasn't just impacting our hoteliers, it impacted our community in general. And I'm going to be very transparent, and Mr. White from the CVB can correct me if I'm wrong, but even if everybody, there's just not enough hotel, even in the central Wisconsin area, to really accommodate the amount of attendees that attend the Hmong Wassa Festival. We have, as I said here, 14,000 attendees. We have individuals that are traveling as far as California and Alaska to join us as well. And Right now we are at 100. We are at max capacity for vendors. That's 100+ vendors. We have currently 50 vendors that are still on our waiting list that are waiting for an open spot to be able to attend our event here. When we're still trying to look to find more spots for these individuals, and these vendors are traveling from as far as Texas, California, South Carolina to come to our area here to join the Hmong Wasa Festival. We have well over 2,000 athletes that attend in our to various tournaments, whether it's like football, soccer, volleyball, dancing, or singing competition. They're coming from all across the country here to join us for our event. I'm pleased to say that we are in the process of working with a organization known as the Hmong Football Federation, which is an international organization that's hoping to help us coordinate our festival as well too, especially when it comes to the soccer component of it. So we're proud of the relationships we have. Now, this is the hard numbers that we have down, and we were able to calculate this by the number of wristbands that were sold. So this was not us estimating, this is us counting the wristbands that came in. Keep in mind, we are not even counting the VIPs or the vendors or the volunteers that are traveling from all across the country here to our area here. So we're not even counting those wristbands and those entries as well. Talking about social media, I know that Mr. White from the CVB mentioned a little bit about our digital presence. The Hmong Wasa Festival had a 229,000 Facebook impressions. That was an increase of 6,000 impressions from 2023. We had 9,900 link clicks to our page and our website, which was an increase of 2,000 from 2023. And we had over 156,000 page visits to our Facebook page, an increase of 10,000 from 2023. And we have saw a 603% increase in our followers to our page. So in addition to our marketing, in addition to our attendance, we also saw a huge impact on the marketing and digital side as well too. And we saw a huge increase in our vendors. While other Hmong organizations across the country here are losing vendors, we are gaining vendors. And we, as I said here, we have 50 vendors that are currently on our waiting list here, wanting to be part of our event here. And we also know that right now we are the largest Hmong festival in the state of Wisconsin here. We have outgrown Oshkosh. Oshkosh is Labor Day, used to be the largest one, but we now have more people than they are as well. So, the support from the Village of Weston helps us tremendously. It helps us make sure this event is a possibility. And the money that we use or get from the room tax, we invested back into the community by contracting with local businesses in the local area here. And we use and we advertise the hotels that's available. We try to encourage folks to also attend and go to other restaurants in our area here, whether it's the Village of Weston or the City of Wausau. They attend those events as well. So I would be more than willing to answer any questions. If anyone has any questions at all, I'm here to answer.
Any questions? Okay, Dino, we'll start.
It's Dino Corvino. How has the ticket policy in the city of Wausau affected sort of the proposed or projected budget for you guys?
Yeah, so that's a really good question, Dino. And I will say this, I am worried. The reason is because with the, we were able to find a kind of like a sweet spot where we were breaking even at $10 a person that attended our event. We were hoping to use this year here to really start cutting back on our expenses so that way we can reduce the amount of money requesting from other folks or requesting from other folks. But with the increase of the dollar public safety charge, we are now the most expensive Hmong festival in the country here. I mean, the International Freedom Festival in the Twin Cities is free. They have 25,000 people that attends their event. The largest Hmong New Year in the international, the International Hmong New Year out in the Fresno area, they charge $10 as well. So we are worried because with that $1 extra here, that is a concern because now we'll be the most expensive, and we're afraid that it might impact the attendees a little here, but we're still in the process of working in any way we can here to market our event to people in any way possible to try and attract folks. And we're proud that we have good relationship with our partners, whether it's One Family, who's out from the Twin Cities, who's a huge marketing hub that connects folks to our event here, or to other coordinators from all across the state here as well. I hope that answers your question, Dino.
Did, thank you.
No, okay. Who else had their hand up? I thought I seen two. Yeah.
You didn't, but I do have a question. Kim Frederick and I represent Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Weston. My question, I mean, you were onto something with the $25,000, you know, the room tax dollars. There are not that many rooms in the Weston area. We have 103 rooms at my hotel and we have the most rooms in the area.
Mhm.
And I guess my question is, what are you requesting as far as the grant amounts from other municipalities?
Yeah, great. That's a great question. I think I couldn't recall if I outlined it in there, but we are requesting for funding from City of Wausau. They're meeting next week here. We worked with the Village of Red Mountain. I believe they did 10,000 if I recall. And same with the Village of Red Mountain with Village of Rothschild as well. I'll be very transparent that the 25,000 that when we requested, it was after having discussions with President Maloney as well with the CVB here, and that was that was the recommendation as well too. And we do need the money. I'm not gonna say that we don't need it because it helps us host this event here. And I also want to, going off to the point of what you were mentioning, is that although there's only that many hotel rooms that's available in the Village of Weston, I also want to remind as well too that our event brings in people that dines in in the surrounding areas. They go to the restaurants in the local area, the grocery stores, the gas stations. So we're increasing, bringing in a lot of sales tax revenue as well too. That does come back to benefit our communities as well.
Okay, I guess I do have a question, Renee
Yes.
Hodel. So in the policy and procedures, it does say grants will be limited to 10,000 per event. And I see last year we gave 10,000, but I see the budget from last year to this year is the same. So the expenses are the same.
Yeah. So I'll explain. I'll say it this way here. We are expecting, we're trying to build our budget to be exactly the same. We're trying not to increase any additional costs, but I'm going to be very transparent. Our asking for quotes from other businesses, we're seeing an increase. We are seeing an increase from the portable restrooms, from the golf cart rentals, even from renting out the park as well too. Is starting to see increase. When we submitted this in, we submitted it in with an expectation of not increasing any additional, of not seeing any additional without hoping not to increase any additional costs there. But right now, as we're working, we're already starting to see increases to a lot of the quotes that we're requesting for already.
You had a question?
No, I was gonna ask if there was actually a policy about the $10,000, because in the past, this is my second lap on tourism. We've given, when Jasper was the president, we've given out more than 10,000. But yeah, Renee was cool enough to show me the policy.
Yes. Okay.
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 Yi, do you
Yes.
know what's the economic impact on the community?
Yeah, so back in 2019, if I recall, we had 13,000 people that was attending, and it was over $2 million in economic impact. The number that was actually told, I think, was 3 million. But I always understate the amount of economic impact that comes in because that's just how I am in general here. But I would assume that we are close to around that range, definitely with more than $2 million.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just have a question in general. Okay.
I've got a question from the audience. I happen to be sitting here, but I have.
Order, Madam Chair. The public comment is over.
If you had a question, would you hear a question from the audience? What?
Yes.
Yeah, I do it when I'm the chair, so that's not an order. If you had your hands up, you'd be able to talk. If you have a question, go ahead. It's not a public comment. Okay.
Question.
It's a question. So my question is, if anyone, including Jamie, remembers on this commission, and I've been on it for several years, every time this one comes up, not just this year, every year I brought up the comparison of the Hmong festival compared to other ones. We've given $10,000 out. We've had a ceiling, even though Kennedy Park is gonna be asking for more. Green Act Turner has asked for more. But when you look at an event that gets 10,000, then you look at the Hmong Festival, it's completely different, other than Dale's. Dale's Weston Lanes produces incredible amount of hotel stays, and they don't ask for much because they do it dirt cheap. But I've never felt it was fair to have such an event as the Hmong Festival compared to other events that are either a day, they don't bring in the hotel stays, they don't bring in the people. It's just not. And so either we take the $10,000 and leave it there, but then all these other $10,000 requests go down to 5 or 2,500 to keep a comparison between the events. It's been something that I brought up. It's a statement. Yeah.
I thought we were.
It's something, my question is the $10,000 the right thing to do? Should we have a 10,000? Is it time to change? I don't know. So that's
Any
my
other
question,
questions?
my statement.
I do have
State your
questions.
name again.
My name is Morgan Woodruff. So first off, I want to say the Hmong Festival is absolutely beautiful. I think it is one of the greatest things that our community does. And it's wonderful to have that culture exposed to all different kinds of children. That said, the jump of $15,000 is vast. My question is, you're right, the hotel rooms, they don't support that much money. Do you think that $15,000 difference is going to come back into our community where there are a lot of vendors? You're right, there's a waiting list of vendors. So people are most likely going to be eating at the festivals. They'll be bringing stuff into the hotel rooms to save a little bit of money. Where is that extra $15,000 going to come from? Where is it going to be made up? Has it been proven? And also, second question, what are they asking for the other towns? Because we're being asked for 25,000. What are the other towns?
Okay, I've got my
10,000
own
each.
question to Husheng, so, Husheng, this is Barb Ermling. I thought I heard you say you're asking 10,000 from the city of Wausau?
Yes, I believe we're asking for 10. No, actually hold on, let me pull up my notes here. I was pretty sure we asked for 15, actually, I think. I could be incorrect here. Sorry, I have to pull up my notes here. But from my recollection, I think we're requesting for 15 from the city of Wausau.
Okay, what about the village of Rothschild?
Yes, so Village of Rothschild is 10,000.
No, Red Mountain.
The Village of Red Mountain is 10,000. Now, I want to go back a little bit though. The city of Wausau, although they're doing although we're requesting for room tax dollars, they are contributing other in-kind as well too. They are contributing, they are giving us a little bit of discount on the park. They do donate a lot of staffing time as well too, and other in-kind services to make sure that the event does happen as well. So but with the reason why we're extremely concerned as well is the additional dollar charge per for the public safety charge, because when you increase prices, I'm worried that we might see a slight decrease in attendees as well. I think just to answer the other question about where we can see how we're going to make up for that money, I'm going to say the sales tax. And your question about whether there is actually enough, where that money is going to be coming from and where it's going to be proven from, I think that's a really hard question to ask. But I would definitely say that the Marathon County here is able to balance their budget and also bring in reserves from their sales tax, because they've seen an increase in sales tax throughout the last several years since the Hmong Wausau Festivals began. I'm not going to say that we are the main contributor to it, but I think we definitely contributed to increasing the sales tax revenue that comes in at the county level as well too. I think it's also important to note that community members, although yes, they are eating at the event here, they are typically here Friday until Monday. And when they are here before those two events, before the event starts, they are going to be eating and dining and using amenities in the surrounding area here. And they're not just using it in the city of Wausau, they're using the village of Weston as well.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other? Okay, Mr. Dino.
Jamie, so I read the policy. Is there a way to grant a waiver to change that dollar amount sort of case by case?
Well, in some cases, we have given more than the 10,000. I wouldn't say that they were specifically events, but we have
Yeah.
done more than 10,000.
Yes, my experience when Jasper gave, or when this body gave the money to Greenheck was an awesomely cool experience and hilarious, but that didn't feel like an event-specific request.
That was a capital campaign, that's different.
Okay. So for an event, is there a mechanism to do a waiver?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Just
I feel that the policy is in place and I don't really, the policy isn't in place. So I was part of the putting of the policy in place. I did write the policy. And we went, we kind of copied City of Wausau at the time. And one of the reasons why we have a policy is because I don't care how big your event is, the Village of Weston, we don't get any more money. As Kim said, there's only so many motel rooms in the village. And I don't care if you have more people, they're gonna be staying outside the village. So there's gonna be other municipalities benefiting from the room tax. We do not get sales tax. Yes, our restaurants are gonna get more, but here at the village, we do not get more money to hand out. So that is why there's a policy in place for 10,000.
I want to ask Tim a question.
Yes.
So, Tim, just because if you compare let's say it's a $15,000 request from Wausau, is Wausau doing $10,000 of in-kind donation?
Well, it depends upon, I don't exactly know each event's, agreements. I mean, whatever the municipal, for our grants, for applying for our grants, we tell every grant applicant if there's a certain rule around it, and that's what we tell them, and this is how you fill it out. Oh, and by the way, the font difference, Jim, it's a PDF online, so it's something with, Adobe. So not us. But yeah, I mean, whatever's dealt with is dealt with. I mean, sometimes like the city of Wausau will take that, they have that, every municipality has 30%.
Right.
Of the 70, sometimes we'll take 30% and they'll put that into an event that they feel like is worthy, or capital funds, that kind of thing too. I think it's rare. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I think there's somebody behind you.
You have a question?
I just have a question
Okay,
regarding
can you state your name?
Jennifer Johnson. I live on South Mountain and Rib Mountain.
Okay.
Just a question, if you estimate of 13 to 14,000 people, why are the admissions only at about 4,000 people as your income estimate?
Okay, I'm not sure that the audience can ask
Oh,
No.
the
okay.
person.
You had a question for sake.
Okay.
Okay, if we're all
I
done.
also would like to ask why these post-event reports are not being filled out, this policy.
I can answer that question for Jamie.
Alright.
So, I just looked it up in the October 21st, there is a post-event summary for the festival. He had asked to attend that meeting and speak out loud and give a post-event summary report in person. He asked that for October and then for December, but with the agenda items that we had, and there was an email chain with Jamie and I. And Jamie had elected to postpone that for Dee to come and talk about it, because we did have it in the packet because of the amount of things that were on that agenda.
And the agreement, the contract.
But we just had that contract going through to find to home with our attorney, why aren't these policies and procedures being?
It's in the packet from October 21st. He did submit that and answered all the questions.
Why wasn't it in this packet? I'm not understanding.
It was just a note that he wanted to talk about the past
Yeah, but
event.
this is policy and procedure.
But it was in October. I thought I saw it last summer again.
It was
So as a member of the committee, a new member and a second time dude on the committee, I think Jamie Wyland has a point that, yes, it's totally fair that it was in the October 21st meeting. But today's the day they're asking for me to vote for money. And so I don't have that October 21st meeting in front of me. So I'm the new guy, but yeah, I would have preferred that post-event report to be there today. And it's, I mean, yeah, and if it was done in October 21st, which is within the timeline of the contract, whatever, then that's totally fine. But I think that, you know, it can also be attached when they're asking for more cash.
All right, so move on. Okay, I think we're good.
I just
getting
have one
close.
last quick one.
Okay,
Is there any way to prove how much money was brought into our specific community last year
No,
from the
there
festival?
isn't.
Okay, thank
Um,
you.
that's why we have in
Sure.
our policy the 10,000,
Yep.
okay?
Thank you.
What he asks and what happens is two different things.
I just have one more comment.
Okay.
In regards to what Mark had said, I do agree that if our policy is at 10,000, then I do think we need to relook that if the Hmong Festival is gonna generate more money, then they could get the cap. But if there's other ones, then it would be less. So to give, you know, two events the same amount, $10,000, and one's gonna bring in a lot more.
But I don't think you heard what Jessica said, there's no way to do that
Yeah.
with how many hotels.
Right,
are
right,
here.
right. You're not gonna, that's what I mean, like,
So there's no way to increase that money because we don't have that percentage to do so.
Right, that's why we said it.
With that being said, then we wouldn't have 38,000, you know, also for Kennedy Friends. You know, the 25 is an ask. And I always, you know, Jamie and I struggle over some of the times when we were on the commission together. You know, the ask from the Wisconsin State Valley Fair was 10, but we gave them 5. You know, there's several events that, you know, they asked for 5, we give them 2,500. They asked for 2,500, we give them 1,000.
Right,
Because
okay.
then they
So-
come and fill out.
All right, now too much conversation here.
I'd like to call the question.
Okay, please,
I'm done.
I'd like to call the question.
thank you. Okay, on the request for the Hmong Festival, what is your pleasure? Okay, I move to approve the grant request for $10,000 to the Hmong American Center, Inc. for the Hmong Wasa Festival. Do I have a second?
Just a quick question. Is the chair
Someone
allowed to
need
make?
a second?
No, I just would like
Well,
to ask.
nobody,
him-
okay, nobody was making a motion, I then can make the motion,
Mhm.
The
Is
chair
that
can make the
accurate? The
motion.
chair can make a
Yes,
motion?
The chair can make a motion.
yes. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, second by Dino. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, grant request, Taste and Glow Fest. 2025. Okay. All right, we want to state your names and address?
Jennifer Johnson, and I live at 152-216 South Mountain Road in Wausau.
Brandon Jillick, I live at 3308 Green Pastures Lane here in Weston.
Okay. All right, you have the table.
Awesome. I'm the president of the Taste and Glow Balloon Fest that is held in Greater Wausau area. Unfortunately, it's not held in Weston. As somebody that's lived here my whole life. In Weston, it would be really cool to have it here. Unfortunately, we find land and we find flyable air wherever we can, and that is outside of the Weston area. However, we have had some successful events in the past. Unfortunately, last year, if you were able to attend our event, there was no Saturday event. A typhoon decided to come through and rain us out like crazy. We had mud pits all over and we rent land across the street. And if anybody drove on that farmer's land, I would have felt very, very bad. So unfortunately, we didn't have a Saturday event last year, which if you do get our fiscal reports or if you ever want them, it's gonna show that we did have an off year. Saturday has always been our biggest night, probably continue to be, as it is with every event. So we did lose out quite a bit last year. However, we are bringing back more balloons this year, some new balloons as well. We're hoping to have a successful event back to where it used to be a couple years ago. And last year we did try increasing our prices to kind of help unload some of the burden from the volunteers that we have within our organization. We are all volunteers, a lot of us all work full-time, so we wanted to raise the price to help kind of combat just the time and effort that goes in putting on the event. However, this year we are going to reduce it back down to 5 to bring back that family type of event, get people coming out to the event with their kids, with their grandparents, and whoever can enjoy the event to hopefully, again, really embrace the love of ballooning that the people that work with our events have and the impact that it has on the greater community. Now, with that said, I'll be frank, you know, going back to the discussion that we just had, is $10,000 a reasonable request? I honestly, I can't tell you that because when you come down to the rooms on our application, we put down 30 rooms. Now, those are the rooms that we, as an event, in Weston, yep. So those are the rooms that we personally will purchase here in Weston for our pilots. France Propane is a very generous donator. They give us propane for the event. So when our pilots come to fuel at France, we want them to be close to that when our event gets done at 10, 11 o'clock at night. So we have, for numerous years now, I think since the inception of the event, been staying at the Fairfield Inn and Suites here in Weston. And they have been a generous host. Our pilots requested to go back there again this year, so that's where they will be staying. So the rooms that are reflected, those are just the rooms that our event personally buys for our pilots, their crew, and anybody that they bring with them, not any rooms that people fill to attend our event. I'm sure that data is somewhere. I don't have the data like some other people do. I can find it. I haven't had the time, and honestly, if you've been to our event, you know the impact it can have on the community. But more than happy if anybody has any questions to answer those. In due time, I can certainly get you more information, but I do not have that here with me today.
Any questions?
I do have.
Yeah.
A question, Kim?
So I'm sure that you're aware that the Balloon Festival is also happening on the same weekend in Marshfield.
Yep.
How do you suppose that's going to impact?
Based on our application, we are estimating our attendance to be down to 15,000. 2 years ago, we had paid attendance, so member participants 12 years and over at 33,000. That was paid attendance. So we are estimating a little bit less than half. We don't know what it's gonna do with this being a first time competition per se. But we're gonna do the best that we can.
And you won't be distributing room nights with any of the pilots? They'll be staying solely at one hotel?
Yeah, so the pilots, a lot of them, they're part of a community, right? So they like to get in a room together, like, get in like a banquet hall together, you know, drink a little bit, have a little fun, you know, converse about their stories. So Fairfield's been really generous. They give us a banquet room for them to hang out in and have their little get-togethers in. So, and that's just kind of where before I was even involved on the board, that's where they stayed. So the relationship's been built from there, so.
Okay, just let the board finish up.
Yeah.
Okay, Dino? Renee, do you have any questions? Kim, do you have any more? I don't think so. Shane?
No. My only question was.
Okay, now it's a question or statement?
I want to just bring up something, you know, Jamie and I were on the commission for a couple of years. And so this is new for you. I mean, so the old group that used to be up in the town of Maine, right?
This is the same group.
You are the same group, okay, so.
Marshfield is the new one.
Right. Oh, okay, so why was I thinking they're from Texas? Am I on a totally different deal? Tim, Jody?
The Wallers are a part of the Marshfield.
Yes.
Oh, they are.
So they were originally here.
They were originally here.
Oh, that's the
So they were part of you.
Sorry.
Now
Now I got it.
and they're going to Marshfield.
Yeah.
Okay, so it isn't really the same then? You know, so the Wallers were the ones that would come and present all the time.
Correct, yep, so he was the president for years and they created the event back in 2021, and then they started the.
For some reason, they took it away from there and now they're going to Marshfield.
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, we had kind of an uprising with some of the land that we're using for our events. And it was proposed by them to move the event out of the area. The rest of the board at the time is from the Wausau area.
Yep.
Didn't want to take the event away from where it's been for numerous years. And we decided that we were gonna stay and keep the event where it's at.
In the same area? Yep, okay.
Yeah, to keep, you know, the community alive and that love of ballooning that Wausau's coming.
I'm done, Chairman. Sorry. I just want to bring a little history to this.
Okay, all right. Now, I was trying to look here and I can't remember. What did you request last year and get?
10,000.
Did you? Okay. I thought so, but I was paging through here and I thought, well, easier to ask. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, one quick one. So I remember all the rumors about the split. That was just a fun round of rumors. But when did you guys When did that split happen? Just tell me what year it happened.
So,
Between the last event
beginning of
and this
2024.
event.
Beginning of
Okay.
2024.
So just the reason I'm asking, Barb, is because there isn't a post-event submission here.
Right.
But
Can
you
I
guys,
clarify
yeah,
something? So when you guys see a blank post event, it's actually part of the application.
Yeah.
So when we receive the application, we put it all in so that the post event reports we get and we put in when we get them, we don't attach it to the application.
Yeah, this is for our event this year.
okay, so then I think we need to change that process because I was gonna say, we have to knock them down because they didn't do to my knowledge, they didn't do one. So I think it'd be appropriate to change that policy that when they show up for their secondary grant, that if we could see their post, event request, that'd be cool.
Because we asked for it, and if we don't have it, it's kind of
Yeah.
like,
So you don't want it at the time of submission?
Because they'll submit it with 60 days after the event,
I
which
think
is
that
then.
that's fine, but I also think that when they show up again tonight, it is my limited perspective, having only this and a blank post-event report, that I am under the impression that there isn't a post-event report.
because they had one from last year, that's what you want to see.
Because I didn't see the one from last year.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we allowed to do the public comment? It's a good one, I promise. It's positive.
One.
For this event, we do have influencers coming to the area. If you guys, watch anything from Wandering in Wisconsin, Wisco Dive Bar reviews, or the Supper Club reviews, they'll all be here for that event and bringing in a ton of coverage for it as well. Grab that other.
All right, any other questions, comments? Okay, what is your pleasure? I need a motion.
I would make a motion to approve 5,000.
Are you making a motion to grant the 10,000?
No, she
No,
said
change it
five.
to five. Okay, I'm sorry. You were so quiet, I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the grant request of $5,000 to Taste and Go Balloon Fest for the annual Taste and Go Balloon Fest. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Duchesne. On the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Thank you.
Post-event report Badger State Game Figure Skating 2024. That's.
Not sure if there's anyone here to speak to the post report, otherwise it was included in the packet. And I do have, they did share with the village, this is their swag bag, so I can pass this around, and they just wanted to give us a bag to show that we were represented, the logo was represented on it. So we wanted to look to see what they provide for the grab bag. And given the event is over, if you needed to take anything out of the grab bag, I think you would be welcome to.
Okay. Thank you. We'll pass it down and have a look. Okay, but now next year it's gonna.
It was in Mosinee, it has been in Mosinee, but next year it will be here in the
Right,
village.
and then it'll be a bigger logo for Weston, right? Hopefully. Okay. There's no action needed, just if anybody had any comments or anything. All righty. Item 11. Use the fund balance left in room tax for Kennedy, $36,796.72. This is money that, when we did not belong to.
Right, this is money from 2019 that needs to be used for tourism. It can't be transferred to the village general fund to be used for capital. It needs to be used for tourism. And I copied the state statute in there. Commission shall use the room tax revenue that it receives from municipality for tourism promotion and tourism development in the zone or in the municipality. I consider Kennedy Park tourism development, developing a park for baseball tournaments, which will draw teams from around the state. So it is up to the commission if they want to grant that balance, $36,786 to the Kennedy Friends,
What's your pleasure?
Kennedy Park.
Yeah, so I'm a member of the Parks Commission or committee. And it would be my desire that this donation be delayed. We had hiccups in 2024. It's my impression that, or my opinion that those hiccups haven't been rectified yet. And I would seek to hold this money until our small strategic planning groups have scheduled meetings and a strategic plan is completed, which the Board of Trustees just allocated funds for. Our Parks chairperson at the last Board of Trustees meeting pointed out that there haven't been any of the Friends of Kennedy Park small group meetings scheduled since the beginning of February. And so I think it's appropriate to hold this donation until that work restarts and we see some activity in that positive direction. And I understand that we just that there is a $500,000 donation out there and stuff, but the work that was slated to begin in 2024 has still not begun with the strategic plan or these small group meetings being regularly attended. So I'd like us to hold this money until after that is done.
Commissioner Covino, would it change the perspective? The funds will not be provided to the Friends in the sense of being sent to the community foundation. They will be put into the funds that are here with the village. The project is out for bid. I mean, we will occur substantial construction cost on getting the 2 fields done this year. And these funds would be put towards construction cost.
Okay, so construction is different than tourism development, right?
But we have to build it so they will come.
Okay, but my concerns are even given that, my concerns are unchanged. I think that the conditions that existed in 2024 exist still today.
Because if I'm wrong here, but this is what this will be used for expenses that are actually coming to the village, correct? Not
These are expenses coming to the village, yes.
that are gonna come out of the village funds.
Yes, so we have set aside the funds that were through ARPA, but now have been through borrowed dollars. They are the funds for the first field that we agreed that we would construct. The second field was the $500,000 donation. That's not the whole field, that excludes the lighting portion of it. They could be put forth towards that or towards other construction that would occur. We don't have the bids back on that. They don't come back until the early part of May. But this would, we are incurring construction costs. We will have Michael's in the back. 40% of the project, I think 40% is a fair average, will be constructed this year. Because 2 fields will be done. One just potentially may not be lit right away.
And they potentially, have a donor for the lights. And there's also a Samuel's group. I'm sorry, can I speak?
Okay.
I'm sure. So, and speaking with Michael, and he clarified that there is, we did borrow $380,000 for the southeast portion of the park, which would cover hopefully the parking lot and some restrooms, but not quite sure if that will cover the costs or not, so.
Right, because we are gonna have costs for the bathrooms and some of these other things because like they said, we're gonna have a hard time getting donations for bathrooms.
Right.
So,
But if we could allocate those funds for that project.
well, yes, I guess that's my thought, that when I was reading this, that's what it was gonna be used for, not necessarily to help the donated funds. It was to cover village costs.
So it needs to be more specific.
Yeah, the second part of background mentions our marketing partner. So it's not a far leap to assume that that's where the money's going. But can I just want, Barb, if it's okay, I'd like to ask a quick follow-up. So Jamie, you said that after this year, we're having 40% of this done?
Yeah, two of the 5 fields, I would say it's approximately 40%.
Okay, so having gone through the parks, the court process and the street and the planning for the park, the number was roughly $15 million. So we have raised today, the village donated, we'll just say $800,000. The Raycheck family are gonna donate $500,000. That's not 40% of $15 million. So how do we get to that 40%?
So the 2 fields that are being constructed are smaller fields. The last 2 fields are larger fields. So, and the concession stand and the bathrooms would be of more cost. So I'm just strictly talking about the land area construction, not necessarily larger ticket items that would be more.
Okay, I guess if you would like, you could make a motion to put this room tax fund balance to be used at Kennedy Park with from village expense. Okay, well, did someone have a question or? Oh, Mike.
I was just gonna add that a big cost of the Kennedy Park project is the multi-purpose building on the northwest corner. That's about a $4 million part of it right there, so if you take that out, I mean, it's a little better, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other ancillary structures that would go into that cost, so to Jamie's point, as far as fields go, it is roughly 40% of the fields, but it's not 40% of the costs.
Well, my thought is, if we can get some money to help us cover some of the village expenses, like the bathrooms and whatnot, all, that is good, because otherwise we're gonna have to keep borrowing more funds to fund that. And if we've got some room tax here that can be used to help offset that, I think it would be good cause, not going towards the donations, but towards the village of Weston's costs. So what is your pleasure?
I'll move, we allow this $36,796.72 to go to the village portion of this project. It's only expended, is the village gonna pay for that?
Yeah, motion in the second. On the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, let me get back up to. Old business. Do we have any? No. Okay, remarks from committee members. Dino.
I'm good.
Okay.
I just wanna, thanks for the opportunity, and this is really new to me, and I'm gonna be learning.
Yeah. I have nothing. Okay. Shane?
Yes. Jamie, I was here on this committee already, I'm not new here. Okay? Take a look at the last year roster, you will see my name is there. And also I've been on that committee with him for 3 years. Correct?
Okay.
Zero transparency.
Thank you.
Okay. Just welcome everybody aboard, and hopefully we can move along and get things straightened out where it needs to be straightened, and maybe we can do some good. Okay. Future items, next regular meeting is July 21st. Time to be decided. I would probably assume the 4 o'clock.
Probably 4.
Okay. So a motion to adjourn?
I move.
Motion by Dino, second by Renee. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, so carried. We are adjourned.